So in this video I want to talk a little bit about my bike setup during my recent trip, 1000 kilometers from Germany to France, and some gear highlights that I used during the trip. So this is the bike. It's a Virus Substance alloy frame from 2019, I guess. It's size 54. The geometry is really spot on for me, so I didn't want to experiment, even though I had a new bike already almost ordered, so I could have experiment with riding a new Scott Gravel Addict, but that would be a leap of faith, kind of, to take it onto a long trip like that without properly testing before. So here it is, as it completed the trip. Initially, I was thinking to try to complete it in 5 days, so that would be around 200 k's per day. But I had one day planned as a spare day, and that turned out to be a good idea, because I used up half of the day and spread the load kind of over. So it ended up kind of being 160 per day, which was ideal for me. It was spot on. I didn't have to be so much in a rush. I didn't have to end up every night getting to the campsite after the sunset and so on. I could really enjoy this trip more by just reducing the amount of kilometers. So getting back to the gear side of things, here is all I had. Almost only the one addition was that I had a hydration vest with 1.5 liter of water, which I really like, and there's a extra capacity for carrying stuff, groceries, and extra food in there, stacking up trash into all kinds of. It is a running specific vest though, so I'm considering to buy a dedicated cycling ultra endurance vest for this purpose, because there are some things falling out when you're leaning too much on the bike. So right, my trusted Apidura Expedition 20 liter bag, I guess that's 20 or maybe 16, sorry. No issues there, even though it has already small puncture at the end from rubbing. Like the stakes for the tent are kind of hitting the bottom. I had to make a cushion out of a towel to prevent the further rubbing. So as you see, it's kind of sits on the seat post collar, and yeah, it's not that good, but it is so robust, this bag. It's just incredible and totally waterproof. The first day was 215 k's, almost entirely in the rain. Nothing got wet inside, even though all the rest was wet and soaky. So what else is there? There's a Tall Peak frame bag, which I just stuffed with random things like emergency kit and first aid and knee warmers, leg warmers. Sorry, there's a pump. I took this pump especially for the pressure gauge to dial up my pressure, because that's one of the most important things. I'll get to that later maybe. I bought this small lock, very handy, and it wouldn't prevent the real thieves from stealing my bike, but it was good enough for quick stops. There's a pillow that I use. It's very minimalistic. I'll get to my sleep system maybe later on. And moving to top to bag, it's another topic. 1.2 liter capacity. I was just carrying some electronics here, spare tube and stuff. Feed bags is just random mix of pouches and bags. It's all connected. It's all. This one is kind of loose because I didn't have anything else to attach it to, but still, there's not so much load on it, so it was fine. So the front harness is the Restrap. The Restrap one. It's a UK brand. Worked with me very well. It has this detachable front container, which I used it as a kind of pouch to store all kinds of equipment, like my Garmin InReach was there all the time. Here you can see there's a attached daylight running light, and yeah, this is removable. It's just a magnetic clips that hold it together. Yeah, the cockpit itself was, well, there's my Garmin 830, that is. I guess this part I had to make, this part of the small connector I made for light especially, and maybe some other devices to be fitted on between. The light itself is some Chinese brand really, but it really was okay. One drawback was that these tend to be not totally waterproof, so there was some water ingress after heavy rain for 200 kilometers. So speed bars for efficiency and comfort, I think I was spending like 50% of the time on them. I especially raised the bars like 4 centimeters from the base because then the position is not that extreme, and I could hold it much longer, which in turn meant that I would be running more comfortably and riding more comfortably and more fast. What else is here? So it's very difficult to see, but the stem, it's the Redshift suspension stem, which was just great. I mean, the whole thing just absorbs bumps and allowed me to ride on my speed bars even through rough terrain and potholes and stuff like that. So I really like it. Yeah, it's definitely a game changer when riding drop bars, this stem. I use the Silka bar tape. I really love it. It gives me a little bit more cushion, and it's a gravel specific, very comfy and soft. I have installed a bell just to security reasons and such. Then there's this. It's not the most elegant solution, but what I did was, sometimes my navigation was not ideal, and Garmin was just all over the place with navigation and routing. Even though I had my GPX files loaded, but then I needed to make a detour or some sort of a change of plans. Then I would need to use my phone and Google Maps and stuff like that, which this made easy to do. Like I would just literally just put my phone in there, even though the pads are obstructing most of the view and stuff like that, but I could still see the crucial parts and navigate. So it was barely used, but I think it's, yeah, I mean, it's good to have. So you can see the elbow pads are already falling apart. This is one the drawback of this setup, but yeah, I mean, you're supposed to replace them at some point anyway, so I guess now it's the time, or soon is the time. This is a nice little thing that you can mount your Garmin or your device between the speed bars. It's a 22 mil clip, and on the back you have the swivel that releases the whole thing without turning it, so I don't have to turn it because there's not even no space to turn the whole Garmin. So I just turn the lever and pops us right off like that. I think it's even a security feature because I'm less worried about my Garmin being stolen, snapped off the bike, because it's really hard to do and it's not very intuitive, and you just cannot move it like that. You just cannot take it out just by rotating it classically. So yeah, all in all, I was super happy with my cockpit setup. I had easy access to all the food and some gadgets here, electronics and on navigation and lights and stuff like that. Going back a little bit to the bike, it's I made some modifications to it, and yeah, the most recent is this fork. It's a kind of a adventure fork, almost like an NV adventure fork. The feature that I really like is this tune chip that I can move the rake of the fork as needed. It has plenty of clearance, and I can route the dynamo internally, and there's a light bolt or fixture that I can mount my light to, so very handy during the winter. And also well, it made the trail of the fork of the bike a little bit more so a little bit slacker, a little bit longer wheelbase, which this bike was maybe not designed for. It was originally designed for 650B wheels, but it is easily, the frame easily takes around 50 millimeter tires on the back, and I'm successfully running 650B by 2.25 Continental tires on it, so it is really universal, this frame. It's a little bit long. The chainstay is longer than usual, but for the trip like that, I really don't mind. What else about the bike? This is actually the group set that comes with it. It's a GRX, mix of 11-speed GRX, all mechanical. Funny thing is that it came with a 1x derailleur instead of 2x, even though it is 2x. So that was for me a little bit of a limiting factor because of the capacity of the derailleur. I couldn't go very wide cassette on the back, which in hindsight I would probably take the 40 or 42 cassette and modify the whole drivetrain because of the steep hills and all the alpine climbing. Yeah, you can see everything is pretty dirty here, but this is how Silca synergetic loop looks like after around 800 Ks. I did have to replace or replenish it after the whole first day of rain. It was almost all gone. So it looks not pretty. It's almost all black, but it's still pretty silent. So I guess I need to clean it and reapply it again. What else is there? This is my rear lights, my main rear lights. I had 3 and I kept running the lights all day, even daylight, because of safety. Those are the cheap Decathlon ones that run around 2 hours, maybe 3 hours in blinking mode, and I used them whenever this was not functioning. And this light, I really like. It's a part of this redshift system that they do for pedals. So they had pedals with both them, like both lights, front and back, and they automatically turn the right color depending on the direction of travel, and they turn on automatically. They're supposed to turn on automatically whenever the bike detects movement, the light detects movement within 24 hours. So 24 hours, this light should be I wouldn't have to touch it. It would be just self turning on and turning off. But what happened was that I can see that there is a water ingress inside of the lights. Or maybe it's gone now, but it was. And maybe that causes the light to turn off after just 10 minutes, and then it doesn't turn on again. So it was quite annoying to, I was just forgetting to turn it on when I was stopping for a snack or something, and then I would just run without the light, which was not ideal. So I would maybe make a warranty claim with Redshift about it. Maybe I would just send them a feedback about this light. But all in all, I'm really happy. I have back at home. I still have like 4 of those, so they could be used on the pedals themselves, the special pedals that Redshift makes, or in this little cute bracket, both for the back and for the front. So moving on, for the hydration, I have the magnetic feedlock system, the 800 ml bottle, which is in the cleaning now, but it works fine. There wasn't really so much space to have the traditional bottle, and taking it out would be impossible because of the frame back. So I was just twisting it and putting it back like that. Works fine. Just really happy about it. So here down, fortunately, this frame has some boxes for additional cargo, and here it's all for my maintenance. Things like spare tubes, multi-tool, spare brakes, spare cleats, all kinds of bits of equipment that was used in some latex patches even, which I will show you later. This is the wheels themselves. Let me talk about a little bit about the wheels. The wheels are Bontrager AOS Pro 3V or something like that, the gravel gravel aero wheels, 24 internal, 25 internal width, which I really like, and I would never go back to anything less than that, I guess. On it, I mounted Continental 5000 GP 5000 super fast rotating rolling tires, 30 mils in width. On this rim they measure like around 31. It's pretty spot on. I think the decision was really good. It rolled like a champ. On the rough surface I could feel a little bit buzzing, so maybe I would go even wider next time. 32. So rear tire got some abuse. I saw some cuts in few places, and I got one flat tire around Grenoble, so I had to take out the latex tubes. Oh yeah, because I'm running latex tubes for efficiency and speed and rolling resistance. Of course, I'm also tuning my pressure to be very exact with what the Silca calculator says on the website. So it was around 66 on the front and 69 on the back. I was trying to, even though the pressure gauge on the pump is not that exact, but it was kind of keeping it within the range. So each day I would have to add around 5 psi. But at one point I got a flat tire and there was a piece of glass, and I managed to repair it, because the way you repair latex tubes is with an old latex tube, which is pretty handy. So I need to just put them back, and I rolled like the last one at K, I rolled on regular butyl tube, and it was, maybe that's just my head, but I could already feel the resistance increase just by the butyl tube that is in there. The gearing I use, it's 36 in the back, and the front is 31-48. So pretty decent. The more than 1-to-1 ratio for climbing, but still the climbs around 12-13% were too hard, and there was one point that I had to walk with the bike. Saddle choice, Physique Antares. I really like the flats. Maybe I would go with something with cutout next, but it's very light and cushioned. Although, yeah, my backside still hurts, and I had to, I didn't use a lube or any sort like chamois cream or anything like that. I was hoping to avoid this altogether and kind of go with it. But at the end I had to use chamois butter or something like that just for the last day, as the pain was increasing and I didn't want to get any infections or anything like that. But after 2 days of rest, the pain is still there. So I don't know. That's problematic. The saddle choice is always problematic, and the longer you ride, the more chances you have for chafing and all sorts of nastiness around that. Moving to my sleep system, the thing that I was carrying in the front, just like that, is my trusted Nemo Hornet tent, matched together with Outdoorsman Lab mats. Very lightweight, robust. My hip didn't hit a ground or anything like that, so yeah, it's my very trusted setup, especially for the summer. And yeah, that's the marmot pillow, inflatable. And here's my down sleeping quilt. Very compressible, very, very warm. It packs like into nothing really. It's around 400 grams. So I was pretty happy about it. Yeah, all in all, I think everything worked fine, and yeah, there are not that many changes that I will do. Oh yeah, maybe a little bit about the pedals. See, the pedals are nothing special, but that was a conscious decision to avoid the full clip-on pedals and go for something like double-sided hybrid ones, and that was really a lifesaver. I mean, I because the shoes I got the new shoes, it's a Shimano ones. Really good shoes with Gore-Tex, but I guess cycling in 30 degrees, it's just they're way too much overkill. And after 2 days, maybe the cleat position is not very tuned in. I would have to move it a little bit, 1 millimeter to the right or something. It's very hard to know this stuff before you're actually cycling for a couple of days in the shoes. So what I did was I just unclipped altogether. I even released the boa and didn't have any tension here, and that helped a lot. So I was just putting my shoe directly on this platform, and yeah, a little bit of movement here, but nothing crazy. It was, and my feet kind of moved a lot, moved on them naturally, and release the pressure points, or distribute the pressure points. And at the end was really nice. I didn't have any pain on. It was just like my feet were getting cooked in those shoes. So yeah, not the best feeling. I regretted not to take any sandals or anything like that, flip-flops, because, well, I didn't have much space to carry them, to be honest. But I would definitely invest in something like roll-up sandals or stuff like that next time, just to relax my feet after, whole day of cycling, and give them a break, really. Some extra stuff I carried, the wallet straps, didn't use them. My electronics and hygiene stuff was here. Oh yeah, the chain is a new chain, the Durace Shimano. Fast and efficient. So when I did replace the whole setup, cassette and chain, and loop everything right, with right pressure and right tires and so on, I really could feel the change in speed immediately, just by making these changes. And I think these are the most important changes you can make: the drive chain efficiency compared with fast rolling tires and tubes, and of course the position of your body on the bike. I think that's it. This was quite a bit of trip for me, and I still have to cycle from here around 250k to Nice, and I will be taking a flight to Reykjavik from there after a week or so. Oh yeah, one bit that I had to replace was the rear brake pads. They worn off on the descents, alpine descents, and I had to put the spare ones there. No biggie, just took some time to do it, but you have to account for this stuff while doing the long distance rides, and that's the part of it. Yeah, I think that's it. All in all, I'm super happy I made it, and I'll be doing more of this stuff probably in the future, hopefully. Right, have a good one.